And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Libra. Welcome to Quick Place Tarot. My name is Corey, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. There's a set of quick announcements. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Libra, what are we looking at in this round of reads? This is going to be your career read for the month of June. Career, in this standpoint, meaning like labor, contracts, partnerships, potentially deals to be struck, things to be signed, but more so the work and effort that we put in, what do we get out of it, either monetarily or otherwise, right? So as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, Libra, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I have about 12 signs to work with, and none of the time to lie to any of those signs, right? Instead, we're going to lay our cards out on the table, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we'll talk about it, because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one. So follow along with me in your read today, Libra, your career read, and yeah, let's see what the cards say. We're going to be doing a past, present, future, starting with this orientation, makes it a lot easier to see the trajectory. So those are the cards we need to see, please, for Libra in this career read. What are the cards you need to see, please, for Libra in this career read today? Let's break. What do we need to see for the Libra collective in this career read today? I like that. Okay. Interesting. Ace of Cups. So starting off in the past. Before I say what I gotta say, why such emotional fulfillment? Not having all the answers, the Two of Swords. Oh, okay. I'm about to say that Ace of Cups seems like it has a caveat to it, and this makes sense. Seven of Wands. Yeah, if it works, why doesn't it work? Right. What could be a potential good and new opportunity for you? You're too defensive about taking it. Right. I'm trying to understand what that means for you, because it could be with that Two of Swords questions about how will this role even work, right? How will this be effective in what I need to do? I see that it could potentially offer that, but I'm not in an emotional space to be able to take it, right? Now that defensiveness is what I want to focus on, because hey, that Ace of Cups, it could be a new opportunity, maybe you elevated role at your job or your position, et cetera, et cetera. There's tons of variables here, but regardless, you still feel defensive about reality that we created. The question isn't if, the question is why, right? Because we're actively seeing how it can benefit us and simultaneously not touching it. The not touching it part, that is the important aspect I'm trying to navigate here. So yeah, we had some resistance there. Hopefully we see some type of change in your present, right? So now that we've seen that, show us the cards we need to see, please. Present orientation for Libra in this career read. What are the cards we need to see, please, for Libra in their career read today? Okay. Emotional sorrow. Why so? The Five of Cups. Got it. Temperance. Card Sagittarius. And what are we trying to take our pain and heal with? Was it all worth it? Hey, man. So, yeah, we went through with the opportunity, and yet it's like we're going through the motions right now, right? The emotional regret, the sadness, we feel like we're playing a part that seems very suited for us, but do we truly want it? right? The question isn't if you're good at it or if you're executing it, you're actually doing it very well. At the end of the day, the question is, do we truly want this anymore? And I would say the dynamic really hasn't shifted, Libra, just to be totally honest. From what I'm seeing, we stepped into a role that, yeah, it provides some form of fulfillment for us. We're too guarded to take it. And now we're just like smiling through it. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not good at it. In fact, you're very well equipped to handle that. That's not even the debate here. The debate that's happening is your emotional internally of saying, I mean, yeah, I'm good at it, but do I still want to stay? And so that hangman, we're trying to suspend our feelings of, wow, I really did not want all this work. I really did not want to do all this as I type in my keyboard and complete the next project, or whatever that means for you. You're actively doing it while almost coming to resent it in a way. And so we're hoping by suspending our feelings with that hangman and just observing that maybe time can work its magic and I'll have a new outlook. But right now, we're putting our feelings to the side and just saying, hey, it is what it is. Don't like it, but it's where we are. Okay? And finally, in the future orientation, show us cards we need to see, please, for Libra in this read. Whoa, what was that? Six of Pentacles. Maybe the feelings come through the everyday work. It's flying out. That's a lie. Seven of Swords. How do we truly feel? And can we bring that to the forefront? Last, any other cards that want to fly out on us? Nice, but it didn't hit the table, so I can't take. What's the last card that we need to see, please? For Libra in this read. Okay. Knight of Swords. And underneath it all, Two of Pentacles. Everything balances out. In your future orientation, Libra, I'm seeing that, yeah, eventually, the nicest way I can say this, we stop lying to ourselves, right? We see the everyday investment that we have done, like even while actively resenting our role and our position that we were given. We see the everyday work and, the positive, the good things that have come out of it. And then we make a decision, a Knight of Swords. Do we really want to stay or do we really want to go? That's essentially where it's at. Do we stay or do we go? And for what it's worth, I'm looking at a Libra who emotionally hasn't really changed throughout that process, but at least by the end of it, and we are far ways away from it right now, I will be honest about it, but come enough time, we'll just have to stop lying to ourselves and say, okay, I can complain, and rightfully, about what's going on here. I can complain about my role, my job, etc., the amount of labor, etc. All those things are well, valid, and true. But my responsibility is to myself and what I do with that, right? And in knowing all that to be true, well, then what choice am I left to make? Yeah, I don't really like this. I don't really want it. But is it enough for me to leave? That's the decision that at least we're not going to try to postpone it anymore. We're going to bring it to the forefront and really ask ourselves, do we want to stay here? Do we really want to stay here? Do we really want to continue doing this? Or will we finally face how we've been feeling all the time and say, yeah, I think I'm kind of tapped out here. I think I'm kind of tapped out, and try to decide what's next in our journey from there. Now, right now, we're coming to a state of material balance. It's all working out, at least in the monetary, and the physical, and the roles and balances, like checks and balances, which is, what you're well known for, Libra. But the fact of the matter is that we kind of suspended our feelings for the long haul, even as we actively took this role or this position. And now eventually it will come back to debate on the table for you personally and saying, will I stay or will I go? Okay, fair enough. Cards connection, reveal connected branches, please. Bridge the gap between all time-based orientations for Libra in this read. We will look at the space that's held between the past and present orientation. What is held between the what was and the what is? King of Pentacles. Okay, so we understand this is a good monetary investment, a tangible one that can offer a lot of benefits. Hopefully, we can observe, learn, and gain more experience through this. And yeah, I knew something like that was coming. Ten of Swords. A painful truth, one that kind of slaps us in the face about the reality that sets in. You're good at it. You're really good at your job. You really don't want to be there anymore. You can both, scales of duality. This is what you're known for, Libra, the scales of LIBRA. We can be good at something on one hand and not want to do it anymore on the other. The question becomes, what do you find to be the value of your staying, right? As you actively go through this role that you do not want to embody, what is the value had in it? How do you define that for yourself? Because if we constantly say, I don't want to be here while we're actively doing everything to stay there, then we're not carving out a path where we truly want to be. And again, that's a way far off for you, at least for right now, because we think that suspension in and of itself is the safeguard against, the internal sorrow and regret we have for staying in the role. It's not. It's just kind of a mask that we're putting on right now. Okay, so what happens between the present and future tense? Show us the cards we need to see, please. Between the what is and what if for Libra in this read. Okay, good. I like that. Strength, the card of Leo. Find internal fortitude to face whatever challenges are presented to you. The Three of Wands, looking forward to the what? Why are we looking forward with expectation? Oh, because we decide that being on the branches of the hangman, we untie ourselves to observe. Because remember, if you look at this, the hangman is somebody who is intentionally suspended upside down. They tied themselves there, right? They're not tied there against their will. And the reason being is because they looked at the world in one point of view. So because they literally could not change or find an answer within, they tied themselves upside down to invert their gaze, right? With that Three of Wands, we're ready to untie ourselves from the tree, which means we're ready to come to a decision-making action, okay? And last, Page of Wands, optimism, that it is the right thing to do. This is the right investment. I'm ready to stop, not necessarily lying to myself, but I'm ready to stop pretending that I am 100% hunky-dory, A-okay with how things are right now. I'm ready to address a long-standing issue, okay? Underneath it all, High Priestess, the internal knowing. You're not there yet, Libra, and I understand why. You're getting there. I want you to give yourself the grace until that moment where you can finally say, yeah, I don't want to be on this tree anymore. And you take your scissors and snip the tie that's keeping you there. Until you're ready for that, just keep going, but keep assessing, keep observing, keep trying to learn, okay? As we move towards resolution, define the major arcana from across the table for Libra in this read. We will start with, nice, but they hit the table, so I can't say. We'll start with Temperance. What do we need to know about how time can fix all? Or is that, what is the purpose of that investment? Show us the cards we need to see, please. We start here and push forward with Temperance. Yeah, Four of Cups, apathy, disdain, and measure. We don't like how things are going. And eventually it heals. How do I put this? Time gives us the ample space and opportunity to try to look at things differently. However, time in and of itself does not always fix everything. I do want to put that to the forefront. It just gives us the space to better analyze without everything so stressed and dense and compacted into one forced decision. Okay, so yeah, the disdain and defensiveness that was harbored in the beginning, it never really changed, just to be totally honest, Libra, but it does give you a space to say, okay, I can analyze it now. I can stop lying to myself and putting on a smile every day. Next to the Hangman, Page of Cups. Yeah, a better ability to assess. We'll also be able to see, the good things, the good in things. And we're not trying to use that as an excuse, but also saying, hey, there are aspects about this that I do genuinely appreciate and do genuinely like. Those two things don't have to be in conflict with each other. Next to Strength, Six of Cups. Okay. So Six of Cups, at least in this career read, because of all the context, Libra, I'm going to say that Six of Cups is pertaining to the promise that you made to yourself. And that goes back to this Hangman decision that we put it in intentional suspension. That's Six of Cups that we're saying to ourselves, hey, okay, we are going to stop being in a state of suspension about this, and we're eventually going to make a decision. We will. That it just is where it is. And we don't have to lie about it. I'm going to stay true to what I'm aiming for. Okay. Let's get a crossing pattern. Okay. So King of Swords, when we make a fast acting decision and swinging for knowledge and victory. King of Pentacles, we'll be able to make the best investment. Not just one that can be beneficial in some ways and we got to weigh the pros and cons. No, we're going to do eventually stay true to us and stay right for us. What will that next step be? In Resolution, with the notion of powerlessness and choice, the Eight of Swords, it spells out an obvious conclusion that the Wheel of Fortune, with enough time, will come to the answers that we need. I like that. Underneath it all, Strength, card of Leo. We're remembering our voice little by little. Here's what's going on, Libra. Let's do a quick recap. You were defensive about an elevation, a new position that you were taking, and that defensiveness and somewhat resentfulness because of you knew everything that it entailed, it hasn't really gone away. And so instead of trying to be Mr. Brightside and trying to look at only the positives, you suspended how you felt almost entirely because you didn't want, your resentment to start leaking out and start showing about certain things that were happening. In the future orientation, we eventually do get to the point where we say, hey, I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to address this, the things that are good and the things that are not okay. I'm ready to talk about every aspect. And yeah, you'll be right for you then if you're not right for you right now, because it takes a while to get there. But in the meantime, while we do appreciate the little things, we're also coming to the conclusion that, okay, I gathered enough data, time for me to assess. And when we're ready to take ourselves out of that state of suspension, we'll be ready to take a definitive look at a answer or a resolution we've been delaying for a while. That's how I got in your read today, Libra. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, I can understand your unease, but you're doing the right things. You're doing the right things by giving yourself the time to assess before you make your next move. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.